This is The Arena, Sam Houston's very own sports talk show. I'm Micah Chalfan, and I have some colleagues here with me with Sean McFarland, Dominique Postel, and Cameron Mack. We're going to talk about various sports subjects throughout the series. First up, of course, the biggest sports of them all is the Super Bowl. That being said, what was your intake on the Super Bowl?
I really thought it was a good game. Probably one of the greatest Super Bowls I ever seen. It's really hard to say that because I saw a lot of Super Bowls,
Right.
But I really think it was a good game. Kind of surprised that Brady won the MVP. Honestly, I thought the two picks was kind of like kind of mess up his MVP chances. But he's a legend, so you got to give it to a legend. And then plus he did perform well through the second half. So
Yeah, I think it went pretty well. I think it was kind of shaky at first when we saw Tom Brady throw two picks. We thought maybe it was going to go a little downhill from there. It's pretty even. Then, fourth quarter, sparks kind of flew. I'm actually surprised, too, that, he got MVP because Edelman did really well.
Exactly.
Amendola helped him out. And it was just kind of overall more of a team effort than just Tom Brady, being the MVP. But they probably just wanted him to be close to Joe Montana, so they gave it to him.
Yes, it was definitely a game to remember. Lots been said already in the last 2 days. It's very controversial there towards the end of the game, but it will definitely be one of those Super Bowls I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Speaking of controversial moments, we're going to bring up both of them. One is the second down play at the goal line, where they actually threw the ball instead of handing it to Marshawn Lynch. And the second one is on the kneel down when everybody had an all-out brawl on national television. Sean, what was your intake on Marshawn Lynch's situation where they did not run the ball on second down?
I was actually really surprised with it, just like those Seattle Seahawks fans that are chanting beast mode until they saw the play going on. I think that they were just trying to stop the clock, get the pass play, maybe confuse the Patriots' defense, but I would much rather the ball in Marshawn Lynch's hands on the 1 yard line with 3 opportunities than Russell Wilson at the 1 yard line with non-elite receivers.
Me personally, I have a conspiracy about it. I think it was a call from not Pete Carroll, but the owner. The owner wanted the Seahawks golden boy, Russell Wilson, to get him a 1 yard touchdown so, one, he can outshine Tom Brady, and one, he's a lot more accepted amongst the media, especially with all the things that's going on with Marshawn Lynch. He didn't want him to get, because if he got one more touchdown, he was going to be Super Bowl MVP, and he was going to leave them the next year, and it would look really bad on the Seahawks if he left and things like that happened. So
I was very surprised with the call, guys. I really didn't understand why 2nd and 1 is under a minute and you throw a slant.
Yeah.
So like you said, a non-elite receiver, they don't have that receiver. And I feel really bad for the Seattle Seahawks fans because their last image of seeing Marshawn Lynch in the Seahawks uniform is not him running in the end zone, it's him walking off. So
right.
that was just very surprising. So
Oh, yeah. And let's not mention the fact that all that being said, that he's going to most likely leave this year, especially after that play, because that just kind of solidified, like, hey, they do not want me here. Also, with the last play, of course, the kneel down and the all-out brawl in front of national television, the most watched fight probably of all time due to the fact of the ratings. Sean, what did you think about that fight? Do you think it was frustrations, or do you think that they were just bad losers? Do you think the Seahawks were just upset about themselves losing?
I think there was a lot of frustration. You play your whole life to be in that situation, and you hate to see it all go away on one play, especially one play that could have easily gone another way 99 times out of 100. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Seattle Seahawks that were on the bench assumed that Marshawn Lynch was going to be getting the ball. They're frustrated, and I think they just lost it. Don't really know who instigated it, but something might have been said, but whoever threw the first punch, I mean, it caused it, and frustrations were from both sides. And I think Patriots were more of just like we'll take it, but because we got the trophy coming up, and the Seahawks were upset that they weren't able to repeat.
I mean, it goes all in the, if anybody's ever played sports, that's one thing you don't want to be in a position of is, one play away out of how lucky that last play was with Paris, and then it go away. I mean, you saw it on Richard Sherman's face. He was like, not like this. And it's just a hurtful feeling, so I can see why they went and brought it out. I mean, there's probably not the professional way to do it, but I guess it's a way to let out your frustration.
yeah, not the professional way. I know some of the audience, some of the fans, I know I was kind of laughing at it and enjoying it a little bit, but that's just not the way that you want to see it in the Super Bowl. That is. And it's kind of sad because you got to think about it. I know the Seahawks was very frustrated, having the Patriots at the 1 and having that encroachment. They could have ended up actually getting the safety, getting the ball back with 20 seconds, at least getting a long-range field goal. So after that I could understand the brawl after this.
Yeah, I can understand the valid point. Now, I will ask this. Maybe I'll be the devil's advocate, but why did they not call a timeout on the 1-yard line? There was a minute left, and you would think that Marshawn Lynch would get the ball 3 times. And so doing that, I always thought the Patriots should have called a timeout right then and there and wasted those timeouts just in case they did score, and they would have had a minute left. But if you saw the game, the last play was with 20 seconds. So what happens if they did score and you only had 15 seconds left in the ball game?
Well,
that was what me.
On the last play, they drained 25 seconds off the clock before they had even taken the snap. I think Seahawks, when they didn't take a timeout, they were expecting maybe Marshawn Lynch might not get on the first try. Patriots were just hoping something lucky happened, and I think they got lucky with not having to call a timeout.
I honestly, they were playing, hooky back and forth, trying to figure out which each other is going to do. I think that's what got Pete Carroll in the position he was in when he tried to hurry up and do that slant, because they were both trying to outsmart each other instead of just playing their regular football. So,
It was just weird to me because I really thought the Patriots was going to call a timeout, but at the same time, I understand they're playing for strategy, but at the same time, you have a defense out there.
Yeah.
You want them to play defense. So I see what he was kind of doing, like, okay, let me just trust my defense out there. Let me just put them out there and let's just see what happens. End up getting the pick. You had a good corner that got the pick, so, it ended up working out for him. Yeah.
So we have a commercial break coming up ahead. We're going to have more Super Bowl talk and more football talk and more sports talk overall. Stay tuned.
Todos tenemos un sueño. El mío era ver el océano. Y con un poco de ayuda, lo logré.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a new Cameron on the set, but it's Cameron Bunch. Good to have you here on with us.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. We're going to talk more Super Bowl talk, but we're going to talk about the team that lost the Super Bowl. Everybody knows this is a huge contract year for Russell Wilson, and the ramifications from his contract could have a lot of people coming out the door. Cameron, what do you think about Russell Wilson probably getting $20 to $25 million per year?
Well, personally, I think he's done his job as a quarterback. He's, in his second year, he won a Super Bowl. He was named Super Bowl MVP. The guy deserves it. Not only, in 2 out of the past 3 years, he's 1 play and 20 seconds away from winning 2 Super Bowls. And, he's been playing for over, the contract that he signed when he came in, which was just over $500,000. But he deserves it, and he's going to be the face of the franchise for the next 10+ years.
I totally agree with what he was saying. He's outplayed his contract tremendously, and I think that it would be great for him to go ahead and get a raise and and do better for himself, because he's just been playing outstanding. He's done well with social media. He's done well with everything else. So,
I'm kind of both sides on this because yes, 25 million is a lot, especially with him not being the Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady caliber quarterback. But Russell Wilson is a great leader, and I would think so much more of him if he were to decline that much money, take a price cut, use some of that money that they offered him that he didn't take, and go out and get an elite wide receiver, go out, stack up the Legion of Boom even more, or get a better running back than Christine Michael, who's their backup running back if Marshawn Lynch decided to go.
I agree with you guys. I don't think he's worth $20 to $25 million per se. I would say he's around the $10 to $15 million range because of the fact that, of course, you do not get that elite quarterback, but you do get an elite person in that system. And so I think it was just a perfect fit for him, and I'm guessing he's going to get around $17 to $20 million per range. We're going to go on the other side of the ball, the Patriots. Everybody knows the Patriots won their 4th Super Bowl, or Tom Brady won his 4th Super Bowl. What do you think about the Patriots' legacy, even though these past few years, dating back to 2004, that has been tarnished numerous times? What's your intake?
Personally, I think that Tom Brady is arguably one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. 4 for 6. Both him and Bill Belichick have the most wins, playoff postseason wins ever, which is at 22. And besides the fact that Tom Brady has won 4 out of the 6 Super Bowls, I mean, his name is going to be embroidered in every single history book in sports ever. But to continue that and to have a guy like Darrelle Revis. In fact, the only 2 players that have stayed in the franchise were him and Vince Wilfork. And they've been around for a while. But the Bill Belichick and Tom Brady era, if they come back in next year and repeat, it'd probably be arguably one of the most best franchises ever to play in the NFL.
Sean,
Yeah.
what do you think?
This is the equivalent of what our parents saw with the 49ers back in the day. Just an amazing franchise. You always had Joe Montana, then Steve Young took over. Just if they continue to be great, even if they don't win another Super Bowl, they will go down as one of the best franchises maybe ever.
I honestly think when it comes to arguments about quarterback, Peyton Manning can't be in comparison anymore to Tom Brady. And I think when Belichick is the best coach of the salary cap years, the 93, and before that, there's probably coaches who can be in the mentions. But to me, 93 and up, Belichick has known how to do the best he can with the amount of money he has with a salary cap and get some of the players who might not be the top players and making them into something. So honestly, to me, those 2 arguments can at least be shut down.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have today, folks. We're going to talk next week about more Super Bowl talk, NFL free agency. We're actually going to be doing a mock draft as well, and NBA All-Star games, and so on and so forth. So stay tuned next week, and have a good time.